He says it doesn't support lowering matric examination standards because of COVID-19 disruptions. It says pupils should be given enough support to prepare for exams. Matriculants are expected to begin sitting for their final year exams on the 5th of November.
Is concerned about the disruption caused by COVID-19 and how it is affecting the learners and the whole system, and we remain sensitive to the needs of the class of 2020 in this regard. There is no doubt that COVID-19 has compelled us to review our approach in terms of how we conduct our business as a sector. Earlier this year, we issued a statement to the South African public that while we are concerned about the difficulties caused by COVID-19, uMalusi does not advocate for the downgrading or trimming down of the quality of examinations. In particular, tinkering with the content of question papers, we do not support that line of thinking. Instead, uMalusi has been in continuous discussions with various assessment bodies regarding the measures that could be put in place to support learners in the period before and during the writing of examinations.
All right, uMalusi's Mafu Rakometsi joins us live. Thanks for your time, appreciate it. I find it a bit hard to believe that the Education Department says it's not lowering the standards of exams. Have you assessed the papers and found this to be the case?
One thing that I need to clarify is that uMalusi is not the Department of Education. We are not the providers of education. We are a quality assurance body that is entrusted with ensuring that the standards of education are adhered to in the country.
Hence the question.
We cannot afford to lower the standards, because if we lower the standards, that is going to stigmatize the cohort of learners that wrote the grade 12 examinations in 2020.
Yes, so that's why I'm asking you if you have assessed the papers and found that to be the case. I did not say that you were deciding on the standards of papers.
No, we have verified that. The papers were approved even before we were confronted with COVID-19, and they've not been changed, they've not been tinkered with. We ensured that the learners of this year are going to write the papers that meet the full standard of the National Senior Certificate.
Yeah. Given the difficulties of learning in 2020 because of this pandemic, is that a fair decision, though?
It is a fair decision. Educational standards cannot be compromised. The South African public expects certain standards from the graduates who graduate from our institutions. When you look at the pilots that pilot our aeroplanes, when you look at the doctors, when you look at the engineers that build our bridges, they must have completed their high school programs adequately. Otherwise, in a few years' time, we could have bridges that collapse on us. We could have people dying because the doctors were not adequately qualified at high school level. So this country expects just the best, and even the candidates themselves, I think it will be undermining their intelligence if we were to say, because of the difficulties of COVID-19, we are going to lower the standards. That is just what people expect of this country. They expect the best from the candidates who will be graduating at the end of this year.
Yeah. What about condonements then? Will we see a bit more of that happening given the circumstances?
No, there's going to be no condonements happening because of this happening. We are going to follow the processes that we've been following all these years in terms of standardization. We're not going to compromise any standards in the process.
And are you satisfied with the environment in which these papers will be written?
We are satisfied. We have observed that the Department of Basic Education has expanded the examination centers in terms of the numbers of examination centers that we have in the system. And we have also ensured, in terms of our oversight, that the COVID-19 protocols are going to be adhered to.
And very quickly, measures to ensure papers are not leaked this year. Anything new put in place to make sure that doesn't happen?
The South African examination system has grown since 1994. it has grown to the point where we can pride ourselves that a concerted, intentional effort was taken to ensure that we run credible examinations throughout. So what has been happening last year is going to be observed this year, like the double locking system where no one individual has access to the question papers, but he has to be accompanied by somebody, so that the key is held by two different people and no one individual can access the papers without the other individual being present.
All right, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. uMalusi's Mafu Rakometsi.